our releases are truly limited. Once a game sells out, it will never be available from us again. What's up, Jak and Daxter fans? Boomer here. What I just quoted can be read on the official Limited Run Games website. And in this video, I want to talk about some unofficial statements that I've seen on the Discord server. A lot of hate has been directed towards Limited Run Games with the release of the Precursor Legacy on PS4. And I want to address that and show that it's not all they're doing and that Naughty Dog and Sony played a big role in this too. So let's begin. First of all, there are going to be no reprints of this. We believe that as collectors and consumers, you should always be able to trust when we say our games are limited. They are. And from what I've been getting at, this statement is 100% true, as nothing they ever released has seen a reprint. It's even in the company's name. It's literally called Limited Run, meaning they're only going to do one run of whatever they're releasing. Going beyond that breaks 3 years of trust and leaves us legally open for a lawsuit, is what Josh from Limited Run Games says over on Discord. And simply because there's so much demand for Jak suddenly, doesn't mean they're allowed to change the statement either. I know that sucks to hear, but that's what it is, and we all just need to get over it. The reason why there weren't so many games printed in the first place, or up for sale, whatever you want to call it, is because Naughty Dog had a lot of heavy input on these guys. And they suggested, as the digital sales for Jak weren't too good, not to make too many physical copies of it, else they're gonna have some unsold stock. And Josh is also saying that unsold units would have killed Limited Run Games. Previous collector's editions for the PlayStation 4 haven't been selling too well this year, which is also a reason they didn't make more units. Naughty Dog felt like this would be a niche release and only targeted at some people, because first of all, the collector's edition costs $75, and then second of all, there are easier ways to acquire a physical copy of each and every game. And he also goes on and states that there's no exact science to predict how many collector's editions should have been made, because it rarely makes sense which products will have demand and which not. And Naughty Dog didn't think that there would be a colossal demand here. I believe they really did their best though when it came to Jak. And Douglas from Limited Run Games says, "When people get mad, I feel their pain. I want to help." He does go on and says, "In a perfect world, Naughty Dog will let us do one more batch, but we will see. Not as easy as just saying yes." And from what it seems like, there are contracts in place now that they just can't change, else they would have done another batch already. And from what I understand, having another batch doesn't really count as a reprint, as the printing itself hasn't even happened just yet, according to their website. So if Naughty Dog and or Sony agree to this could potentially mean though that we are maybe getting a third batch, but that's just speculation on my part. Take it with a grain of salt. In case you were scared about bots buying up all these collector's editions and even the standard copies, Douglas also says that bots weren't an issue. There's also a chance we will be seeing more copies available for the purchase with Jak 2, 3, and X, as they've clearly noticed the demand and now are talking to Sony and Naughty Dog about being able to make more copies. To go back to why they couldn't make more and why it could have potentially killed the company, these collector's editions are expensive to make, and having too many leftovers also would have filled up their storage, which apparently they don't have a whole lot of. You need to keep in mind that Limited Run Games is just a small company. For previous games, they had to even throw away some collector's editions simply because they weren't able to sell them. There are some really good news to all of this though, because this cooperation with Naughty Dog and Sony worked out so well. This could mean they're getting some more first-party titles, and maybe even some more PS2 classics, to be able to print as physical releases in the future. I just kind of want to talk about why the PlayStation 4 release of Jak generally, the Jak collection, wasn't too good. And for me personally, it's the fact that it was a digital release only, and also that the games didn't run too well when they first came out, and they still aren't up to this day. They are certainly playable, but not enjoyable. Almost a year ago, they patched the 16.7 slowdown on PAL releases of Jak 2, and since then we haven't seen any new patches. That's almost a whole year of not patching anything. Nothing. So if they would have cared a bit more about that, I could easily see the sales being a bit better, but they just didn't. I've even made a comparison video where I advised people not to buy the PS4 version unless that's the only system you currently own and all you want to do is play Jak. If you still own the original PS2 or PS3, I would still recommend you those versions instead. I just feel like Naughty Dog is kind of missing out on how many people actually still love their franchise, their series, the Jak and Daxter games. So it's a bit of a shame to pack so many cool things like the Precursor orb, the official soundtrack CD, as well as the design archive with a limited print. Yeah, I don't know about that. Seems a bit off to me. That's coming back to one of the reasons why it probably didn't sell too well in the first place when it came out on PS4, it being completely digital. There's nothing new we're getting on the PS4 that we didn't have with the previous release. So why would anyone go out and buy it if they already do own the PS2 version or the PlayStation 3 version? I mean, I did, but that's because my entire channel is built around Jak and Daxter. And ironically, this is also how my channel blew up in a way. If they didn't release the PS4 version, I probably would not have the subscriber count I have today. But I feel like I'm getting a bit off topic here. There are two questions that are still unanswered to me. First being why they didn't go with a pre-order system. And second, why exactly were you able to buy 2 of these per one customer? If somebody had genuine interest in this article, I don't think they would buy 2. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Or am I missing a point here? Oh well, that's all the news I have for today. Please don't go out and bash these guys on Twitter or talk trash about them. They are good people. They're just trying to bring digital games to us in physical form. And it just so happens that Jak is something they did not think about being this big. And apparently, Naughty Dog and Sony did play a big part in this too. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, toss me a like. And if you want to see more Jak and Daxter news being covered, I recommend you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.